Now, immunization, it is an artificial way of achieving protection from infections by the introduction of dead or weakened germs into the body. So, immunization, what is this? This is the artificial method, okay, in which the weakened germs, the dead germs, they are introduced into the body. So, the body makes the antibody and the person is able to fight against those diseases. Now next is the immunization process, by which the body of an individual is made resistant to a specific disease by vaccination. So in this, immunization has decreased the number of people susceptible to various diseases in the world because of immunization, because they take the protection from infections, so their body get immunized and those person they don't get such type of diseases. So those diseases are tetanus, diphtheria, whooping cough, mumps, measles, tuberculosis, etc. So these are the mainly diseases which are for which the immunization is provided to the body. Now next is the first aid. So first aid, already children, we know that first aid is a aid that is provided to the injured person in the beginning. It is the first help that is given to the patient at the time of medical emergency before he or she has taken to the doctor. So during accidents, during heart attack, during snake bite and during burns, which type of first aid is to be given, that we are going to discuss now in this chapter. So first we are going to take now the burns. So if the body get burns, okay, if something hot has touched your body, the body get burnt, so what we have to do? So what happens if any part of the body get burnt? So we get blisters. So we should not cut those blisters. We should only apply a oily substance like ointment, yeah, like butter or Vaseline on these skin surfaces. So what we should do first? First we should pour a cold water over the burnt area and then dry that portion and cover with the sterile dressing in case it is a light burn. But if the burn is a deep one, never use a water and never cover the burnt area with the dressing. So in that case, the chemical, if the burn is due to some chemicals, if some chemicals are there and the burn is due to some chemicals, always wash it with running water. Now simple example, suppose if you are doing any work in the lab, okay, laboratory, so any chemical you have thrown on your hand or any part of the body, so immediately wash that area with the cold water so that you will not get the blisters on that area. Now next is the bleeding. So if the person is bleeding in any affected part of the area body, so if the person has got hurt, if it has fall down, or simply the person is having the bleeding from the nose, so what we have to do? If the person is having bleeding from the nose, simply the person should sit with the head back and we should put some cold water on the body of that person. And other than that, what we have to do? We have to press the area where the blood is coming out. So we have to cover that area, we have to press the area with a clean cotton wool, or if possible we should apply mild antiseptic on that area. Next is the fracture. Fracture means when there is a breakage in the bone. So when the person bone get breaked up, so what we should do? First thing is that we should immediately go to the doctor. But before that, within 5 to 10 minutes, what we should do? We should loosen the clothes of that person and do not move the fractured part. So, and if the fractured part, in that part we should tie a string or rest the arm on some surface, so that the fractured part will not move. Next is the eye. If anything fall in the eye, do not rub them. Wash them gently with the clean water. Third is the unconsciousness. Unconsciousness means faint, if the person get faint. So sometimes the person falls unconsciously. Simply in Hindi we call it किसी को चक्कर जब आ जाता है. So immediately we should lay down the person comfortably on the bed and loosen the clothes and give some fresh air and just sprinkle some water on the face of that person. Swelling poison. So if any swelling poison means someone has taken the poison through drink. So immediately as much salt water is possible, we should give that much of salt water to that person, so that the person try to introduce vomiting, and if the vomiting occurs, then whatever the things are going inside the body, it will come out. And the next is the snake bite. If some person is bitten by a snake, immediately try to squeeze out the blood, and then immediately what we should do to that person where the snake has bitten. So up and down from both the sides. Suppose this is the any part of the body where the snake has bitten. Suppose these are the arms where the snake has bitten. Here the snake has bitten. So we should tie that part and that part, so that the blood flow will stop for some time. So here is the poison, the blood will not go anywhere. So we should tie that person from both the sides with the cloth. Next is the string. String means sometime it happens that in the some insect like mosquito or any other harmful insect whose string is very vast like honeybee, they cut. So what we have to do, we should squeeze out the blood from that part, so that the poison will not go inside any part of the body. And we should apply some baking soda on that part, so that it will be used by that person. The poison will not spread into the body of that person. So other than that, if the person is having fever, if person is suffering from body ache or suffering from cold, so the temperature is more than 98.6 Fahrenheit. So at that time, in case of high fever, we should take ice pack or a piece of cloth dipped in a ice cold water, and we should put that on the forehead of the patient to bring down the temperature, and immediately we should consult the doctor. Now the bad habits which should be avoided. Okay, so first bad habit is the consumption of tobacco. So some of the people, they are in the habit of smoking, they are in the habit of chewing tobaccos. So if the person are having such type of habit, so maybe there is a chance of increase of mouth or lung cancer, high blood pressure, heart attack, cough, irritation in the throat. So the first habit that should be avoided, that the person should not consume lots of tobacco. Next is harmful effects of drinking alcohol. So that is also a bad habit that can be avoided by a person. So if the person is taking a lot of alcohols, if the person is in the habit of taking lot of alcohol, so that should be avoided, because the alcohol, it immediately causes the damage to the nervous system, to the blood vessels and the kidney and the stomach. So the excess of alcohol causes damage to the liver and gets stored in the form of fat. So alcohol drinking should be avoided, and so that the person will not suffer from any coordination affect in coordinations. So because when the person take the alcohol, it directly affects the cerebellum. So cerebellum is the smallest part of the brain, and it is responsible for our muscular coordination. So the muscular coordination is destroyed if the cerebellum is getting affected. So the person should not in the habit of taking a lot of alcohols. Now the harmful effect of drugs. So drugs which cause an insatiable condition in human beings is called necrotic drugs. So the cocaine, heroin, optimum, such drugs, they also affect the nervous system. It also causes many respiratory diseases and heart problems. So that the consumption of drugs, it also should be avoided. So children, this is all about your chapter. The PDF of question and answers I will send you along with the video. So read the chapter carefully and prepare you according to the board exams, because the question paper will be difficult this time. Okay, thank you children.